Tuesday, the 26th of March. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Business Morning. I am Bosin Mafai. Let's hit the ground running. President Buhari has praised Bismarck Rewane's committee for their hard work, diligence, and wealth of experience that they put into the funding minimum wage report, which was submitted to the president on Monday. President Buhari says Rewane's committee's report will be studied and analyzed very quickly before the National Assembly or the legislature finishes their work on higher minimum wage bill and pass it into law. Meantime, the Consumer Protection Council, which has been restructured, is now renamed the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council, FCCPC. The new agency is now imbued with more powers and functions. All of that will be ahead. Meantime, Nigeria's electricity regulator, the NERC, and the power distribution companies, by the acronym DISCOs, are currently in war of words over whose duty it is to supply meters to consumers. The NERC brought independent power suppliers, or MAP, into the mix in July last year, asking DISCOs to engage the meter firms within 120 days, but extended that deadline to November 2018. Now the regulator and the industry operator, the DISCOs, are now in war of words or argument over whose duty it is, as the DISCOs now look to shift meter supply to the new private sector companies. In the Aviation Ministry the Aviation Ministry has appealed to the Senate for approval to secure $461.8 million to fast-track, upgrade, and the construction of new terminals across the country. Those are some of the stories, big business stories, making the headlines. Let's throw this to the marketplace, where today is a big day for the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank. The decisions later at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon from Godwin Emefiele, the chief at the Central Bank. Before that, let's check in with the market. Not a very good way to start Monday. All the major 5 indices on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the banking, the industrials, consumers, oil and gas, and insurance were in negative territory, bringing our year-to-date index reading to a negative 1.2%. Temple Ashaju, our business correspondent, live this morning, as always, from the trading floor. Temple, come in here. Good morning.
Morning, both. And like you said, all the indices were really down yesterday, and that's due to profits taking. Of course, the fact that we haven't really seen any major catalyst in the markets. We got the all-share index down some 0.31% to 31,042.32 after some 36.19 billion naira was lost out of the equity capitalization, which then settled at 11.57 trillion naira. Month to date, losses basically expanded to 2.13%, and the year-to-date losses expanded to 1.24% after we saw a negative activity level in terms of volume now down some 27%, and of course the value of transactions at 3.75 billion naira was what some increase of 43% yesterday. 3,048 deals was what we saw in the market yesterday. On the sectoral front, if you look at the industrial goods segment of the market, we've got CCNN losing, Dangote Cement losing, and all that impacted on the sector at the end of the day. We had 164 basis points decline in the industrial goods segment of the market. Insurance segment of the market was also down. We saw NEM Insurance also dipping, and a whole lot of other companies, including Chi PLC, which is the symbol that represents consolidated hallmark insurance, actually. Banking segment of the market, if you look at Access Bank, a bit of profits taken on Access Bank, they're down some 6.57% yesterday. Fidelity Bank also experienced some decline, 5.06%. Zenith Bank, FCMB, and FBN Holdings all went to the southern territory yesterday in the market. If you look at the oil and gas segment of the market, O&O and 11 PLC negatively impacted that segment of the market, while the consumer goods segment of the market has the impacts of the losses from NASCON, which is even paying out a 1 naira dividend, as well as Nestle PLC, which is down some 0.13%, all impacting on that particular segment of the market. The NSE 30 was even down as well, 0.19%, which explains the magnitude of losses that we recorded in the markets yesterday. Top loser yesterday was Academic Press, and top gainer was Red Star Express, one of the less active companies there that a lot of investors needed to quickly diversify their portfolio to. And top traded security yesterday was Guarantee Trust Bank, which had some 47 million units of shares valued at 1.7 billion naira. On the energy front, we've got the just two companies making movements, and that's 11 PLC and O&O PLC. O&O was down 3.45%, while 11 PLC saw a decline of 1.76% after we saw some 62,001 units of the shares traded yesterday in the market. For a whole lot of other securities on this segment, there was basically no movement. At the NASD OTC, we saw a bit of increase, 0.64% appreciation in terms of the unlisted securities index there, which settled at 755.38 points. We saw market capitalization closing at 542 billion naira plus, and of course, just 134,460 units of shares was traded there. And for the debt market, the bonds market was bullish. The T-bills market was also bullish. Of course, we'll get a whole lot of details about those later on the program, Bosin.
Yeah, Tempo, quite a lot of stories there across the market. But this morning we got the news that Access Bank was yesterday night awarded the Gender Leader for Africa at the Africa CEO Forum 2019. That was one big news here for Nigeria, coming from the Africa CEO Forum, a two-day annual summit that started yesterday in Kigali, the Rwandan capital. This is one big boost if anyone's looking at Access Bank here as part of the quoted companies, one of the top tier 1 bank of our market.
Oh, yes, both incorrect. That's not only the only news. Of course, at the Africa CEO Forum they're holding in Kigali, Rwanda, there's a whole lot of Nigerian companies that will be benefiting from that particular meeting. Globacom is another Nigerian company that will certainly experience some gains from that particular company. But in terms of Access Bank, there's a whole lot of news around Access Bank right now, given the fact that the mergers and acquisition of Diamond Bank is going to be consummated on the 1st of April. That's the timeline that we already hear from them. This morning, we also have on the portal of the Nigerian Stock Exchange that a scheme consideration for the shareholders of Diamond Bank has also been released. They've asked the shareholders of Diamond Bank now to go ahead and quickly fill the form with United Securities, which is the presumed registrar for Diamond Bank, so that the cash settlement and, of course, the share settlement for these shareholders of Diamond Bank will be consummated in no time in view of this mergers and acquisitions. So there's a whole lot of news that we're seeing. We do expect Access Bank to also make some gains again today in the markets, because the 6% plus decline that we saw yesterday was as a result of profits taken, given the fact that it has risen in share price to close to 7 naira in the last 7 to 8 trading sessions, Bosin.
It's going to be a very long day for all of us here at Temple Ashaju. Thank you very much. Stand by. We'll see you later on the program.